start recording. All right, so we're going over setting up the grid and making sure that everything is all set and ready to go for measuring the truck based on the schematics given to us in the PDF. The first thing that I'm going to go ahead and do is go over to my Windows and go to Settings and Preferences, and go to my Preferences and make sure that my settings are set to whatever I'm going to be measuring it. Now, our measurement will be in metric, so we'll use millimeter, centimeter, decimeter, meter. So each one of those is a division of 10. So if you have 1 meter divided equally 10 times, it becomes a decimeter. If you have a decimeter equally divided 10 times, it becomes a centimeter. If you have a centimeter equally divided 10 times, it becomes a millimeter. 100 millimeters, therefore, equals a decimeter. 1,000 millimeters equals a meter. Say 1,000 equals a decimeter? Should be 10 to, 1,000 should be a meter, 100 should be a decimeter, 10 should be a centimeter, and then 1 should be a millimeter. So each time you move the 0 over by 1. Centimeter what? Did I say it wrong? Sorry about that. Notepad. So let's put that down on the notepad so we can see it. 1 mm. Excuse me. 10 mm's equal 1 cm, right? 10 cm's equal 1 dm. 10 dm equal 1 m. So it would be 1 millimeter would be 10 centimeters, would be 100 decimeters, would be, that's how it would look. There is 1 millimeter in a millimeter, 10 millimeters in a centimeter, 100 millimeters in a decimeter, 1,000 millimeters in a meter. Let's double check that because something doesn't sound right to me in that. How many millimeters in a meter? 1,000. Okay, so I did have it right, so we can always just check this math really easily. So we've got that all set. Any questions about that? So I'm going to leave my settings set to centimeter, which means this one. So I'm going to say, OK, save. Next, I'm going to set my grid. I come under the viewport for grid, and I click on this. Now, the length and width is going to be the total of the grid times 2. So if I say 100 units, it's going to be a total of 200 wide by 200 deep. So let's do 10 so that we can count it really easy. Apply. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So each one of these quadrants is 10 by 10. So if I say that my grid length and width is 10, it is actually 20 from here to here. So this is a total of 2 decimeters. There's 10 centimeters in a decimeter. Okay?
It says units square
Yes.
So it's basically just 10 centimeters.
Right now, each one of these squares is 10 centimeters-ish, because these are 10, and we have a grid line every 5. We have set the units to be centimeters. So if I said 1 and 10, all right, so now each one of these squares should be 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. Now each one of those squares is 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter. Now I'm going to change this number briefly. So 10 centimeters is a decimeter. 10 centimeters is a decimeter. How big is this quadrant? This quadrant is 10 by 10. So this quadrant is 10 by 10. And this is a decimeter. This gray square right here is a centimeter. This little tiny black square is a millimeter. That is our grid. That's how we can think about this. So 10 decimeters would equal 1 meter, right? So let's call up our truck PFD. I'm pretty sure I have downloaded it to this computer. Nope, I have not. I thought I did. So let's download it really quickly. PFD for truck. Okay, here we go. So we are interested in 2 measurements to start off with. Number 4 and number 20, and we could also do number 17. So the first thing that we're interested in would be 4 by 20 by 17. Does that make sense to you all? 2? 2 and 4 look like they're the same to me. Are they? Okay, yeah, then 2 would be better than 4. So 2 is 12,723 millimeters, which equals out to be 1,272 centimeters, which equals 127.2 decimeters. Is that right? How big is our grid currently at 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters? Is this 10 centimeters? This is 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. Will our truck fit on this grid? No. So how big does our grid need to be? 725. Apply. That gives us that, which is not overly useful. So we will set this to be 10 and 1, which gives us that, or 10 and 2, which gives us that, which is not useful. 10 and 5 would be possibly useful. Why did I do 10 and 5? If I do 10 and 3, This area right here is 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. What is 10 centimeters? So does 3 divide into 10? Does 5 divide into 10? Does 2 divide into 10? For this, 725 by 10 by 2 might be a fairly useful size for us for snapping. Can you guys understand where I'm getting these numbers? So I'm going to go ahead and say apply and close. Now I need to make a cube. I'm going to make a cube. And my cube is going to have some attribute settings. And where it says width, height, and depth, I now know what those numbers are, right? So let's pull back up my truck. My overall length is going to be what number? This is in millimeters, and those white squares are set to what? Or what's my calculator set to? What is my scale set to? So I'm going to move the decimal point over one place. So if I just grab 1272 and come back over here and say my depth is 1272. I can't do that. 1272. And my height is 17,649. And my width is 20. This looks like it goes out beyond there, so I'm going to use 14. And those tires are going to be inset just a little bit. I'll have to be aware of that when I'm measuring it. So I'm going to come into 14. Overall canopy width 764. So I'm going to come back to here and say 764. And one of us may be slightly dyslexic. All right. That is the overall height, width, and depth of our mouse key, of our truck. Questions about how I got that? All right, I'm going to stop the video.